Hey all, welcome to the Coronavirus Cast. We are the Corona people.
Really?
Corona Bologna.
Now we lost every single Pokemon monetization we've ever had.
Right. Well, how are we gonna get demonetized for a fucking outbreak?
Go. I don't know.
Zeus is so infected that he just went to the other fucking... Wait.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't say the word coronavirus.
I haven't heard any news of Corona. Okay, whatever. Excuse me. Speaking of, I totally have it. Wink. No, I haven't heard any news of coronavirus being a banned word on YouTube.
Yeah, it literally
I'm really nice because I feel like you're full of shit. I always feel like you're fair. YouTube is monitoring videos about coronavirus. Well, that's an interesting news story, by the way. Anyway.
That's me. It's you. I write for Bago Games, and I also am the lead of TSR. Hey.
Anyway, I am Alex, aka Wheat. I am podcast host and person who is sick but doesn't have coronavirus. You can be around me, don't worry.
Yep, this is Zeus here. Glad to be back here again, discussing all things gaming and all things current. Miss you guys.
Great.
Special guest Nemesis.
But really, we do actually have a special guest today. He's actually another writer for Bago and another member of TSR. Everybody say hi to Falcon Tempest, aka Chris.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, Falcon. Welcome aboard.
Glad to be here.
Welcome to the podcast where dreams come to die. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and ask what everyone's weeks are, like always. Legon, how about you start, since you actually want to talk about this?
Resident Evil 3 Remake is great, go get it.
And you didn't play the remake demo that actually matters.
Well, I have actually played the... Well, yeah, we haven't done the second Resident Evil 3 demo yet, but we'll get to that later. But the first Resident Evil 3 demo...
Okay, son of a bitch. Continue.
The first Resident Evil 3 demo, there are a lot of differences between Remake 2 and 3. Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, first of all, just the weapons themselves feel much different than before. The dodging mechanic is interesting, but it's balanced well, and I hate that it's balanced well because it's not easy to break the game with it. But
I kind of would, even though... Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Even though I haven't played it yet, I kind of don't agree with that, because I feel like you shouldn't be able to break Resident Evil like that hard. I mean, you know, 4, say what you about 4, say what you about even 3 to a degree, but like the defensive maneuvers shouldn't break the game.
Oh, it won't break the game like I wasn't expecting it to, but I'm not disappointed. It's just like, oh no, I have to actually try.
Oh, poor Legon. Yes, yeah, and then we're doing Infamous 2, and it's like, oh, die. Oh, okay. I see where Legon's mindset goes.
Well, I am another person who also played Resident Evil 3 demo.
Nemesis. Oh my goodness. Nemesis.
That's not fair. You should have let Yule continue with his thoughts.
Yeah, Legon, I hate you. But
So explain Nemesis for me.
Okay. I must say that Nemesis is actually a really threatening villain this time. He actually uses his tentacles to drag you back. And if you don't use the dodge mechanic to avoid those tentacles, you're very likely going to be assaulted by him, and he really hits hard. And he's basically Mr. X, as in you can shoot him to down him temporarily, but it isn't permanent. It
lasts like 10-15 seconds at most.
Which, so, is that implying that they're not going to have because it's a demo, so it's hard to tell. Is that implying that they're not going to have the custom gun parts system from 3?
I'm not sure on that, but we'll definitely see when we get to the full game.
This goes to the part where I'm going to say that the Resident Evil 3 demo left me a little bit mixed on my feelings. Like, I know that it's not the final game, so I will keep my judgment on that front. But they removed a lot of interesting mechanics that that actually made Resident Evil 3 such a great game. Like, for example, the ammunition system is the exact same as Resident Evil 2. So you basically have to mix gunpowders to get different types of ammo.
Again, demo.
Well, okay, and here's another disagreeing point. It's like, it's the same as Resident Evil 2 Remake, Yule. You couldn't do that in the original 2. But you could do that in the original 3. So it's a little hard to say it's exactly like 2's in the sense that it's like, well, 2 Remake added that feature to the original game, whereas 3 had that to begin with.
The thing is, I always refer it to as Resident Evil 2 because that's what Capcom refers to it, so...
Wait,
what?
Just call them Remake 1, 2, or 3.
Okay. Remake 2. The way the Remake 2 does it is basically using the same way Remake 3 does it, so... yeah, that's one of the major problems. The other problem I have is that they removed the live selection triggers, and I knew this before going into the game, but I expected live selection to be somewhat of an implicit thing rather than something that you're told, hey, do this or do that, or else you're going to die, or stuff like that. But no, you don't get that open-ended sign that Resident Evil 3 had, which again is a shame because that's one of the most interesting aspects of the original Resident Evil 3. So they it feels like a neuter version of the original Resident Evil 3, which does have some really good mechanics. Yeah, I will admit that. I still love the fact that you can still do the focus shots. The over the shoulder camera perspective works for a game like this. Zombies are much more threatening. The game runs at a consistent 60 frames per second now, and it doesn't have as many dips in the quality as Resident Evil 2 had. But overall, there are some decisions that have me raising an eyebrow just a bit, and leave me a little sour. So right now, in terms of my thoughts about Resident Evil 3, it's that I'm a little bit mixed. So yeah.
I'm just gonna say really quick, as someone who has done numerous challenge runs in Resident Evil in Remake 2, the demo for Remake 3 is just a breath of fresh air in a lot of new ways, for better and for worse for me personally, because there's a lot of minor things in the demo that I wish I could do that I wish I could have done in Remake 3, but were only doable in Remake 2. So it's very minor things, but it's little things that add up after a long period of time for me specifically.
It's kind of hard to understand that because, like, excuse me, I have a couple points. I don't understand that part because, like, I don't know what things from 2 that you're not really getting.
Those are things that you'll have to play the demo yourself to see immediately after playing Remake 2.
Well, see, that's a very I don't want to say it's too specific, but it's like that's a specific problem of like just playing similar games back to back.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that, but that's why I tried to clarify it's a me thing and it's not a general thing towards the actual game in and of itself.
Yeah, I can definitely see the point. Oh, sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to. You go ahead with your point.
Yeah, and I offer a fresh perspective of the series because I've never played 3 before, but I love 2, so what I've seen from 3, from a lot of videos so far, it does seem overall to be a step up in all areas, like the pacing, the open areas, more of Raccoon City, Nemesis. I'm pretty excited. Like, I can't wait to play the demo, have a more firm opinion of it, but coming from my hype of 2, I expect nothing but great things from Remake 3.
I am of similar mind, even though I haven't played it yet. My perspective, though, is that I'm getting some concern, because I don't want to say outright fears, because that's kind of ridiculous, and it's like, it's still going to be a quality game, but some of my concerns about the game are getting a little confirmed here. Like, even as much, I always kind of give Yule some crap, because sometimes his arguments sound very, I'm doing this just for the sake of, like, being the opposite opinion, and, I joke about it, but, one of the concerns one of the opinions he had that kind of made sense to me was like, how they removed the entire system of what is it? You know, the life choice system. And they didn't just make it sort of an open world type, go here for this outcome, or go here for this outcome, or do this action for a certain outcome, or do this action, you know? I feel like you didn't have to have it be a dramatic stop like it was in the original game. You could have just had it be an open world kind of thing where it's like you get to a certain area in the story and there's multiple gameplay options for you to pick from, you know? And I think the fact that they didn't even try to do that is kind of disappointing, because when they removed zapping from RE2, that's not a sad loss. That was more of like an inconvenience that got taken out of the game. But this was a system that kind of gave the game so much replayability. You know, and then the RNG factors of it. Of course, it's hard to replicate that in a modern game as well as you could, but, you know, I just feel like RE2 was so well received, even on the announcement. It was so, hyped, and I feel like they just kind of took that. They
took that for granted.
No, that's not what I'm gonna say. They are doing a similar. That's why I fucking hate when people try to finish my sentences, because they almost never say exactly what I'm gonna say.
Sorry about that, then.
No, they did they remade the game and did a unintentional similar development of them, in that they are just very similar games and came out around very close proximity to each other. So it's very weird. Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, just to wrap the point up, it's very weird to feel that about games that are very similar yet remade.
And by the way, this is coming off from someone who is a massive Resident Evil fan. In fact, Resident Evil 3 is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. I love that game to bits.
That's an unpopular opinion, but go on, man.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people love 2 more. I understand that. But Resident Evil 3 was so unique because it tried so many new things, and they actually succeeded at them. Like, yeah, the RNG almost always was weird and clunky, but you still had the life selections, the life selection scenes where every decision you made an impact on the overall story. And the endings always factor in your decisions at the life selection. So, and honestly, a Resident Evil game with multiple endings,
that's cool.
That is a very interesting idea,
Yeah, I agree with you. And maybe they took it out in this game. I don't know. It could be a nice mechanic to return to in RE8. Because having a little bit of control of the story and the replay value, the game's already replayable enough, but that little thing can definitely go a long way to see all the endings and maybe some premature endings or premature game overs. That'd be cool. I'm all for that.
Yeah, but the fact that it's gone, the fact that the ammunition crafting system is gone, I just don't feel like I just don't feel that's exciting, because I'm playing Resident Evil 2 remake all over again, and yeah, that game is excellent. I'm not saying that it's bad, okay?
You said okay. No, I'll fairly interject, because I know I'm admitting that I'm kind of cutting you off here, but I feel like you're ignoring the idea that with Resident Evil 3, even though they added things, you're basically playing Resident Evil 2 again with different,
with some tweaks. With some
tweaks. Like, Nemesis is a tweaked Mr. X, so you can't criticize you can feel however you feel, but I feel like to criticize the remake for feeling like Resident Evil 2 is defeating the purpose of the original game's development and how it basically is Resident Evil 2.5.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up myself, where Resident Evil 3 was actually going to be a spin-off game, but they decided, no, we're going to make this canon, and it's basically Resident Evil 2, but with more stuff.
Yeah, and I heard that Resident Evil Code Veronica was kind of supposed to be what they were going for with 3. Mm-hmm. Like, that was supposed to be the third game, so I'm glad that it was switched, don't get me wrong, but it's like, and that kind of, my sentiment applies to Legon a bit, because he's saying a similar thing, and it's like, well, it's not as similar, you are preferring Resident Evil 2 over 3 in that regard, and Remake 2 over what you're seeing out of Remake 3, but it's like, you also have to see it from the perspective of, yeah, you're not going to be able to play just Resident Evil 2 with Jill Valentine. It's kind of like, you can't expect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that, but at the same time, it's just the little things for me personally that add up in terms of the differences. But not everyone is gonna feel that way.
Yeah.
Or, like, because Yule keeps harping on the gunpowder system, and it's like, I get that Resident Evil 2 remake did that thing and kind of did it bare bones, and I don't know, maybe I might change my mind when I play it. I'm saying that most of my opinions here are subject to change after I play the demo, but Resident Evil 2 added that system to Resident Evil 2 remake added that system to a game that didn't have it to begin with.
Mhm.
And Resident Evil 3, I mean, yeah, it was a little more complex, but at the same time, I don't mind the simplification of it because that system, a system that makes you requires you to have a guide to fully understand it just to use it in the base game. I'm sorry, if they simplified it in a way, I'm kind of fine with that. Because I don't want to sit here looking up a guide just to get ammo for a gun.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also just want to point out
That's just my
one
opinion, though.
very small thing that I absolutely love about the Remake 3 demo. It has 2 references to Mega Man being canon in the Resident Evil universe.
Okay. What? Okay, I don't want to hear the context. We'll get to it next week. But like, what?
You'll know when you play it. You will definitely know when you play it.
See it, yeah. There are a lot of Easter eggs about Resident Evil and other Capcom properties in Resident Evil 3, and I encourage people to find them during the demo because there are plenty and they're fucking hilarious. I love them.
Well, I wonder if they're going to keep them from the main game.
They're not the only company that does that.
I said I wonder if they're going to keep them from the main game.
I hope so.
They
Yeah.
probably will.
I just got wrecked. Anyway,
But yeah,
continue what you were saying, Zeus, because you kind of got lost in the mix there.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, good for Yule and Legon to point out those things. You can definitely tell the developers do enjoy the series a lot because look at the remake FF7. I mean, they put a lot of references to their properties and their in-game jokes. So that's cool to see. It's always cool to see whenever you revisit games like that.
And look. I know I know that I've been harping on the game a little while, but I still am very hyped for it. I'm going to play it once it releases, and I'm still going to review it for Bago Games because I still am a huge Resident Evil fan. This isn't going to turn my leaf over, so I still think that this is a really great game that you should be playing.
Agreed.
Just because it's not the Resident Evil 3 remake I expected it to be, doesn't mean that it's not going to be the Resident Evil remake that people are going to enjoy. So it's hugely a matter of subjective opinion in this bit at least. So
Yep.
yeah.
Still a day one purchase. That's not changing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, though, was that all Legon's week?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, there was Remake 3 and then a bunch more challenge runs in Remake 2, but you don't need to hear about that.
No update from the Final Fantasy 14 corner.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
Nothing of note.
I think 5.2 happened a while ago. So no,
I guess no.
it's gonna be a sunny 70 degrees out there, Jim.
Okay, back to you, Bob. Anyway, anyone else want to take a week or what's up?
I'll go for my week.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so, well, lately I've been going through mainly 2 games. So first and foremost has been a Resident Evil Remake. I'm just slowly going through a blind playthrough of Jill's campaign, and I'm at the part where I finally made it to the lab already. I've only needed a guide, I think maybe twice so far. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm learning a lot of things about the game I didn't expect from any other Resident Evil titles, like the Crimson Heads for the first time, the Hunters for the first time. That kind of freaked me out, but the game does a good job giving you enough ammo to survive or just be able to run away. So I've been impressed by the remake's ability to cater to me in that sense, playing it for the first time. And then the other game I've been playing is the original FF7 in preparation for the remake. That game's also really, really. I'm just trying to think of the word. I mean, it's great. I don't want to just say fun, but yeah, I can see why people love this game. From the presentation to the music, and the story, it's a great package. And I can't wait to play more of it. I'm about to storm HQ, so that'll be fun. And on the card game sense, I am currently in a tournament of 96 people for Exceed Battle Card. And with that tournament, I scored a major upset with TSR last night. I managed to beat a former tournament champion of a major, 2-0, in my first round of winners. So I took the whole chat by storm. I'm pretty hyped about it, and it's definitely a great positive over this otherwise stressful work week.
Congratulations.
So yeah, thanks. I'm hyped. I got my next match tomorrow at 9 p.m., so I'll keep you posted on that endeavor.
Me and Zus basically celebrated by playing a little bit of what was the game we played?
Fighting Herds?
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of fighting herds, I'll be participating in another tournament in a couple more Saturdays from now.
You?
So that's gonna be...
You?
Both of
Or
us.
yeah, no, not just both of us. Also, Chris is also going to participate with us. So yeah.
Wow, way to make it all about you, fucking asshole. Anyway.
So that's been fun. And the last thing I want to say is last night I also tried Grand Blue Fantasy as suggested by Yule. Yeah.
Because I bought it.
I feel like I haven't heard this much about a game I know I'm not going to touch.
Grand Blue?
Yeah, but Grand Blue is like right there. Like I've heard so much about this game that I know I'm not going to play.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, I bet you were like, I might get this game out. Guilty Gear will get rollback. Never mind. I never fight
Grand Blue.
I honestly think it's a game worth playing. The combo game is really not that complex. It definitely focuses on the fundamentals like poking and what's safe on block, what's unsafe on block, and there's a lot of characters in there that appeal to me that I definitely want to flesh out and improve upon. So I recommend it. Like even if you're not a big fighting game buff, I think it does appeal to those type of people that want to dip their toe in, but they're not going to be overwhelmed because smallish casts, very simplified amount of moves, and a good pace of battle. So you're not spending too long on defense and offense. It's a good
look at the fighting game critique, my man.
I've been learning, and it's great. Like thank you to Yule and my other fighting game buddies who keep me in the loop. So yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah.
I just play in Grand Blue.
Yeah, and what?
Oh, I think he's asking who Zeus mains in Grand Blue now.
Yeah, I should have been
Or
clear.
play, because it's too early to main people.
I'm still learning the names, but I'm learning. I think Lancelot's his name.
Lancelot.
Or,
You did cut out a little bit there, Zeus.
yeah, Lancelot. The girl with the staff is pretty good. She reminds me a lot of Jam from Guilty Gear.
Thinking of Zeta.
And this guy who has a lot of flame attacks. And he charges up his
Jam from Guilty Gear. Oh my god! Don't even get me into this game, man.
Yeah, Jam from Guilty Gear. Like,
Don't even do it. Don't do it.
I like it.
Fucking Jam is my jam.
It's Jam and Slayer for me in Guilty Gear. Like those are my two people.
So you're like a combo fucking not okay. I was gonna say like a joking insult, but no, just like you're a combo purist. You were all about like super combos with those characters because that's what Jam and Slayer are. They're like very well timed combo masters.
Well, they're good at block strings opening people up, and they have a lot of record games. So
Yeah.
If you can get in, they're good at following up and punishing. So that's what I like doing. I like baiting people, and I like punishing unsafe moves.
Exactly.
Being aggressive in general. You'll know.
Yeah.
That's why I play Cow in Fighting Herds. Cow's my girl.
What about chicken though? Cow and chicken.
Nah. All about that cow. All about that beef.
The beef. Don't need
Hey,
no
that's-
chicken. I need beef.
Beef.
Anyway.
Man's food right there.
Man, okay, whoa.
Hey. Yeah, that's it for me though.
Yeah, nice. I feel like, honestly, it's kind of sad for me that there's like a lot of fighting game stuff going on, but it's like I can't really get into it because, like I said, Guilty Gear is kind of my thing right now. Like that's what I'm preparing for. I can't really get back into Fighter Z. It's just been too long, and I've already been very open about how I feel about the systems and how that game plays. So it's not bad. It's just like I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Yeah. So, but with Grand Blue, it's like I said, I've never heard so much about a game that I'm probably not going to play because that's how fighting games are. You kind of just you don't disrespect the game by saying I'm not going to play it. It's you just know it's not really your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Every fighting game appeals to a certain demographic. Like, not everybody's gonna like Dragon Ball. Not everybody's gonna like Street Fighter V, for instance. Like, it's all preference based. It's all preference based.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunately why fighting games are just not gonna get as massive as other esports, in my opinion, because it's just way too preference based.
I don't know. Like I've been to a lot of these live events. It's pretty hype, my dude. Like
Yeah.
It's hot.
it feels.
Okay, it's hype, but it's not like. How do I put this? AEW is hype, but it doesn't get the WWE crowd yet. But it's a similar feeling. It's better than a lot of other sports, but it's also very tied to its own demographic, as opposed to other esports, which can branch out to people who are barely even into video games. You know?
Yeah, like you can like. We even talked about this during our Game Awards podcast, where I said you might not know what Dota or the International is, but it's still a massive event watched by literally millions of people.
Yeah, we rag on Ninja, but he's a worldwide celebrity, almost iconic person because of fucking Fortnite. Like. You know, Daigo is known to us, but Daigo isn't like a millionaire world beater because of the famous block string combo.
Yeah, the only person that has managed to achieve that sort of popularity, and that's because mostly of who he is Sonic Fox. But again, that's mostly because of who he is.
Yeah, and there's a social level to that, so it's also like. Yeah, it's so Sonic Fox has a level of social message to his fame, and even then he kind of, if you ask a random like someone who basically is like I play games casually, who Sonic Fox is, I bet half of them won't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask them who Ninja is, every single one of them is going to say they know who Ninja is and what he plays.
Fortnite streamer, yeah, immediately.
Yep.
Personally, I don't like Fortnite all that much, but I'm not gonna like short sell it or say Ninja doesn't deserve the fame he has. Like,
yeah,
he's cashing in on that.
Right. We criticize Fortnite, but we're not also like we criticize it because we don't like it as a game. We're not criticizing it because it's the new popular hotness right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't like the game. I don't like Fortnite. I don't like Overwatch, and my job keeps me keeps me on taps with those games. Not because I want to, but because it's my duty to. But again, it's simply a game that people can enjoy, and enjoyment is subjective. So if you like it, go for it.
Yeah, enjoyment is subjective, but I think there are certain aspects and qualities of a thing that is not subjective. Mm-hmm. And I just think there are bad things about Fortnite that are... I mean, I don't even say it because everyone wants to hate on it because they don't like Battle Royale because it's a new hot, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I have offered other Battle Royales that are much better than Fortnite. Apex Legend is a much better free one. Call of Duty is free, and I thought Blackout was a much better Battle Royale than both of the ones that kickstarted the genre.
Mm-hmm.
So... Like, there are Battle Royales that work, and they work really well. Tetris 99 is technically a Battle Royale. And I love Tetris 99.
It's the best Battle Royale, don't you know?
So do I.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to play it, but yeah, it's,
I wish we had a port on PC, to be honest, because, man, I miss that game.
Yeah, Tetris 99 is so fun. It's such a good time waster.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're really going to get back to Tetris. All right.
All of gaming goes back to Tetris, my dude.
Anyway,
yeah, that's the point. So yeah, I just don't think fighting game esports is going to ever get as well. No, that's a blanket statement. It's not as popular as it right now, and there's decent reason to understand why.
But it's on the rise. I still think it's on the rise, little by little.
Like I know, like interest is like subjective as well. Like not all people are gonna be interested in the same thing. Like I love fighting games, and my younger brother loves shooting games. He likes games like Destiny and Overwatch and shit like that. I know it's not subjective. I don't like those games either. It's all case by case dependent, really.
Mm-hmm. I believe that fighting games have the potential to be as big as the shooty bang bang guys, but we really need to wait to see the audience that is going to get, because right now this is the perfect moment for fighting games to gain an audience. I believe that because people are basically looking for what to do and what to watch, and what's better to watch than a fighting game and seeing those hype comebacks, all of that stuff that really makes for a great spectator sport. This is the time for fighting games to show how they shine. And I believe that if they play the cards right, we're going to see a massive raise in popularity for fighting games as a whole.
Agreed.
I agree.
So yeah, with that said, I'm going to go over my week, which, man, I don't recall the last time I played so many games in a single week. We have RPGs, we have arcade games, we have adventure games, we have fighting games, we have racing games even. Trauma Center, Uno, fucking Langrisser 1 and 2, the demo for Trials of Cold Steel, the closed beta for Genshin Impact, the I even played some Mario Kart Wii, and I played a lot of games, both for Bago games and just for myself. And I also picked up Granblue Fantasy Versus. I think that the fighting mechanics are good. I'm a little bit wondering what the hell is with this Lowain with his capability to summon a boss fight in the middle of a game, but meh. But still, I've been playing way too many games this week, and I still play my usual suspects like Final Fantasy Breaker Keeper. I still play a little bit of, I play a little bit of Dragon Ball Fighters nowadays. I'm getting back into Dance Fighting Hertz, and yeah, like Sue says, I'm going to be participating in that tournament as well. It's been crazy, and honestly, I haven't even been any happier because I've been very distracted, and I've been loving every single one of the games I've played with my beloved PC. This is just amazing, man. I really hope it doesn't end anytime soon. But yeah, overall, I believe that I also had a really decent week at the very least.
Glad to hear it, man. And you can do more than just participate, man. You're gonna get a set win. I feel it, dude.
Yeah,
yes.
I hope so.
In a game he's barely had any perk. No, I'm just giving you shit.
Anyways, well, finally, Falcon, how was your week?
What do you mean finally? I didn't get to go my week.
Oh shit!
I was literally gonna say Falcon for last because he was the guest, but it's like motherfuckers like, oh, well,
Wow.
I forgot.
It's okay.
I unintentionally give Wheat shit, so he gives me shit purposefully.
I gave you deserved shit.
Exactly. Let's go.
Fuck. I spent my week getting coronavirus. No.
Oh dear.
Knock on wood.
Yikes.
No, I mean I've been working. I'm genuinely thankful that I'm one of the few people that's like I can still be working and I'm still getting money and et cetera, et cetera. I'm happy about that. But yeah, basically in terms of playing game, well, one of the things I've gotten in our 2-week break is few-week break is I got a haircut. I cut like most of my hair off, so that's one thing. I also have been playing a lot of I got a pro controller now, so I can finally play Smash without like or video games on my Switch without being restricted. So I've been playing a lot on that lately. And I don't know how to put it. Like, I love Smash, but sometimes I feel like I just hit a plateau and it kind of pushes me away a bit. But anyway, I've also been trying to chip away at Mega Man Zero Collection because I'm not trying to get more games without finishing games that I've bought. It just is what it is. Like, I know it's a
backlog.
Huh?
Gotta clear that backlog.
Yeah, and it's like I'm at a point now where it's like unless I get like a multiplayer game, which is, you know, just play every once in a while with friends or play with friends, I'm not gonna try to get many single player games knowing that I need to start cranking down on Zero when I have free time. When I'm not playing Smash or multiplayer games with friends. So I'm really gonna be cranking out Zero. I'm gonna try to be 0-1 and start the other games, and yeah. And it's a good game. It's really difficult, though. I feel like the first one is unreasonably difficult compared to even like the X series. Like the hardest moments in Mega Man X as a series that aren't through actual bullshit. Like because X1 or 0-1 feels designed really, really difficultly, but like it doesn't also just feel like you're dying in one hit to every single thing. You're just dying to a few hits toward every single boss, you know. But it's still a good game. I think it's a worthy successor to be the sequel series to X, even though it has some weird things. Like I think the elf system is kind of neat in that you can get a lot of perks and get bonuses and stuff. But it also sucks that you have to like feed them and grow them because getting crystals, expecting like growing something with Mega Man drops being as like sporadic and as random as they can be is almost a flawed system in Heart because you're going to be sitting there grinding forever and it's going to get monotonous and you're going to even feel like you're probably breaking your controller or your controls aren't working because it just gets so monotonous. So it's a good game. I recommend it, but just be prepared to use save assist and not feel bad about it, and also be prepared that it's probably one of the hardest Mega Man series in the franchise, and for good reason. So it's a good. I think it's and to talk about the collection for a little bit, since I'm not going to really talk about it much after this point, it's probably the best collection of the bunch, and I don't mean like the best games. I mean like the actual production values and how they put every game onto one cartridge and disc. And even the box art just looks so vibrant, almost like the Mega Man Legacy collections. I mean, I love X. X is my favorite Mega Man series, hands down, even after playing this one. And I'm disappointed that the X Legacy collection got such a short hand compared to Zero and even Legacy 1 and 2. For classic Mega Man. I feel like X got the fucking short stick here, and that's kind of disappointing because I think it's one of the most deserving series. It deserved to be up there with the rest of them. I'm not gonna say it's better than them, so it deserves better. I think it should have been treated as good as the other two, and it wasn't.
Wait until you hear from the Valve Network fanboys.
Well, no, because I want, if they ever do a Legends collection, I would like to see a lot go into that, just because there's only 2 games, and I'd love to hear development stories on why they did such a radical shift in the Mega Man series. So it's like, I think X standing out as the least, given the least amount of love, let's put it that way. I think it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But that's it. And basically, other things I did in my week we'll probably talk about later on top of like, just working. And yeah, I'm getting ready for like, I don't know, there's just not any games that are coming out other than Resident Evil 3, which I kind of forgot about soon, that I'm really into. Yeah, I'm not going to get that because I want to play for the first Doom 2016 before I get that game.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yeah, I'm not going to get that because I'm getting Animal Crossing.
Man, with how times are getting really crazy, genuinely, I might actually try Animal Crossing. Like,
once you try, you'll never go back. I can see
good luck on that, my bro.
Yeah, that's
good luck getting out of the Nook Mafia.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at a needle of heroin in the eye and saying, you know what? Maybe today. So maybe I do drugs now. Maybe we're there. So I don't know. Once I inject the good stuff, I'll never go back.
Yeah. Oh, that's that good shit.
Ooh, that's that good. Those are the good bells. Oh yeah. What do you mean I owe Tom Nook 3,000 bells? What the fuck? When?
God damn it.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. But and that I was gonna make fun of an article real quick because it's not enough to be newsworthy. But do you guys see that tweet? You know the tweet, I think at this
Which-
point.
No, I don't.
The tweet where someone was like praising Naughty Dog compared to Animal Crossing.
Oh,
Crunch and no crunch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, let's not do that. But no, I mean, okay, I get that. Naughty Dog is notorious for crunch, but like, it's more the idea of why can't Animal Crossing have love put into it just because it's a more cartoony art style in game.
Yeah, like I never understood that. Like, you know, does it really matter does the graphics really matter? Some of the people's favorite games were 2D games with fucking bit-sized colors. For fuck's sakes, people love Shovel Knight. People love Freedom Planet, and those are indie games that are 2D. Those and cartoony as hell.
Please. Those are really good sprite-looking
You
games,
do
man.
not
Don't
diss
diss the
Freedom
art.
Planet sprite work.
Don't diss the freaking art, dude. I'm
I
sorry.
haven't played Freedom Planet.
It's beautiful.
You're getting grilled by someone other. You're getting grilled by someone other than me. What fucking world are we living in? Coronavirus really fucked everything up. Didn't it?
Look.
Yeah, the
So-
C virus
Yo,
escaped
that's-
Resident Evil 6. Now it's messing everything
So,
up and turning it on its head.
I'm saying that people love those games because it's a good case. Because right now people are putting so much value onto the fucking graphics of The Last of Us, and I'm like, so what? That's the graphical aspect is the last thing I care about in terms of a video game. It's just, you know.
I'm not gonna go extremism just because someone's being a dickhead on Twitter. I do think the graphics in Last of Us are good. I think the thing about Last of Us 2, what I've seen that makes me more excited for it is the flow, the graphical beauty and the flow of the video game itself. That's impressive.
Yeah. What's a cutscene? What's gameplay?
Yeah.
It's like the FF7 remake. It is so seamless. It is what I've been wanting from a game for so long. And it's amazing.
Excuse me.
Because fuck loading screens.
Okay,
There you go.
but what about Animal Crossing? Why do you think that people are saying that Animal Crossing is
one
not as
person. Let's not
ambitious
say
as-
people. To be fair.
Not as ambitious? What?
Yeah, like there's like, for example, they're saying that Animal Crossing had no crunch and therefore it looks and plays bad. And wait,
You're starting to do the
no,
Yule
no,
thing.
no.
No. You're starting to do the Yule thing where you're twisting things out of proportion to fit your own perspective. And no, I did not see people saying it looks and play bad because there was no crunch. That was not a point. Not letting you have that one.
I'm sorry. Does he do this normally?
Sometimes, yes.
I have
80% of the time.
I have sources.
I have
you want to
sources
see
that you're
those
not
sources?
going to share with us because you're
I
making
am going
shit
to
up.
share them. I am going to share them.
Your
right
source is
now.
the exact same as
That
ours
is
right
listen,
now.
Creed.
Fuck, man. I make fun of one guy on Twitter and you will get a boner about sharing his sources. Like, great.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Going against what all journalists do. Good job, Yule. I'm sure
That's
they'll be
fair.
so
I guess
motivated.
but no, like the joke is stupid. Even though people make fun of him for it, like it's a stupid notion because Animal Crossing has love put into it, and no, there's no narrative here that's like people need crunch to get good games. Like let's not build that narrative because that's unfair. I know we hate crunch, but that's not fair. I don't think people are clamoring saying crunch is the reason why games are amazing. It's like it is an unfortunate part of the business, but we're not trying to say that people should crunch just to so we can get our good video games.
That's right.
I think Animal Crossing is going to be good, and I think it's kind of just the because it happened a lot in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, which is ironic because realistic graphics in those eras were butt ugly, but it happened a lot in the era where it's like these games look so good, those stupid cartoony Nintendo games, dude, bro, I'm gonna fuck your mom, all that shit was going on, and it's like I'm glad that it's a perspective you don't hear from a lot these days, because I think people have accepted that any game can look good and play good. It's all about the meat on those bones. Well, no, it's not how the meat on those bones look. It's how it all comes together.
Doesn't matter how it looks if it tastes bad.
And it also doesn't matter how it tastes if it looks awful. You know what I mean? Like if the meat's like chipped and has ants walking all over it, aka bugs. Haha. See what I did there?
Bethesda, anyone?
Then yeah, exactly. Then it's not gonna matter. So it can go both ways. I think a game can look ugly and still be it. That's a problem because it has bugs or it has very bad quirks that don't match the gameplay or game's style. Ugly does not mean, oh, like Shovel Knight's old and cartoony. That means it's bad. Or, oh, this game is very simplistic model-wise and the world doesn't look that detailed. It's bad. It's more like if there are problems with your general style that you could have solved, yeah, then it's still going to be... It deserves criticism for looking that way. Pokemon Sword and Shield's a great example. I know we're over that game, but I think it is a great example.
I already posted my sources while we were talking about this.
Okay, whatever. We're already past that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't get it. People are using Animal Crossing as a way to justify a crunch, and I'm like, no.
You're cherry picking something for your narrative, so
I am not cherry picking.
Yes, you are, because you always do.
Hell sounds
Yule,
like
shut up, drop it, let it go.
sure
I
as
can
hell
find
sounds
even
like it.
more. I can find even
You
more.
have so
like
much
this.
pride, let it go.
Why you have to be like this?
Why
Because
do
he
you have
loves
to not let
Frozen.
your... Because I like Frozen? Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you gotta
gosh.
let it go.
Oh my gosh.
Moving on. my
Okay,
week's
you know
over.
what? Moving on. Just this.
You're
right
welcome.
now.
Cease!
We're putting a moratorium on this shit right now.
Anyway,
TSR.
so Falcon, tell us about your week.
I've mainly spent this week trying to get PlayStation 2 emulation to work and, well, trying out new teams in Dragon Ball, because I've been playing that a lot more since Season 3 released.
Fighter Z?
Yes.
I see. I know the competitive scene's still pretty strong.
Yeah, it is.
How's Silver Goku?
He's not out yet, actually.
How's Goku with the vagina?
Jesus Christ, dude.
How is Goku number 79012?
It's not like that. Come on.
No, guys.
No, sorry, I'm wrong. How's Girl Broly?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a better comparison.
Sorry.
That's
I mean, March is the month where you see a fuck ton of capitals running around online, so... I just want it to end so I can, like, actually see if I like the character and not be like, oh, I just got hit by this dirty-ass mix that I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at. But, honestly, I'm just gonna stick with 17 because that's all I even give two shits to play in the game.
Yeah.
Who's your team, by the way?
Android 7. No, it's Piccolo, Android 17, and Dragon Ball Z Broly.
Ah, Broly. The banned one, or will soon be the banned one.
Lame ass Broly. I hate that Broly. I know everyone loves that Broly, and even my friend like Broly, and I like him to a degree, but I think Super Broly is so much better.
Super Broly is significantly more fun, I agree, but like...
Well, even as just a character, I think Super Broly, like, fucking outweighs the fuck out of normal Broly in terms of being just a fun character that exists in this franchise.
I don't hear that. That's
Graduated.
understandable.
He's graduated.
Nah, but, like, for me, Z Broly, like, how I feel about it is, like, Dragon Ball Super Broly is a lot more fun, but Z Broly gets the job done. You know what I mean? Like...
Oh yeah, it's like when I pull out Terry in Smash. It's like, I know what I'm doing, this gets the job done.
Like, I'm on grounds to agree with like pro players that like freaking Z Broly is one of the better anchors in the game, and he makes playing my two characters the other two characters I play pretty fun. Like, and staggering with command grabs is a very funny thing to do.
And his 17 is actually pretty nasty. He has this way to mix. He uses his moveset to hit you with plenty of mix-ups. There's even a...
just jab me. Just jab me.
Yeah, I know, but
I feel like
Just jab.
I feel like Z Broly, Z Broly is the excuse me, is the Bowser of Fighter Z, where it's like he's really fast and really fucking strong. So it's really you have like very limited answers to that character.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so do I.
Not to
Good
mention, not to mention, he has a shitload of armor for some reason.
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like Bowser.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Tough
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, looks at mutual friend of Leg on an Eye.
I mean, I
Fucking
just,
Bowser.
I just play Ryu in Smash, so I don't know better.
I play fighting game mascot in Smash because I'm a fighting game player.
Says the person who plays Terry.
Well, I'm playing the one that people don't want in the game. I'm a hip.
You play the one that got
I just
everyone
wanna
upset
say-
that they can't take showers because they can't do a quarter circle on the shower faucet.
Well, okay.
You're
That-
just a
that
fight
joke is a little
hypocrite.
darker considering-
Okay, that's a little clever.
Well, no, it's also a little darker considering it takes a pandemic for people to wash their fucking hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And they don't
Are
even
you
do
okay?
it right.
No, seriously.
I don't know how many
okay.
times I've told friends of mine that it's like, I don't know why people going crazy over a virus means they're finally washing their ass. But Smash players take note. Wash your ass. Don't smell. Don't be
Wait.
dirty.
Yes, please don't
So-
smell. I've
so
been to
the-
enough events.
So the takeaway I can take from this is that you're a justified hypocrite, while Falcon is just a hypocrite.
I'm sorry.
am making
I'm
fun of
sorry.
people
What?
for reading into it.
I'm just a dude that dispenses mids. I don't do anything else.
I thought you were going to say that the only thing you
Fucking
took away
hell.
from this was that nobody takes showers because they can't do a quarter circle.
Oh god, let's
For your
just
info, I
move
do
on,
all my
please.
inputs in Smash Bros. I do all of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're done with our weeks. We're gonna rapid fire through some of these early points because some of them are just kind of small and don't matter.
Okay.
Just insulting those points because fuck them. Got
Okay.
them. Anyway, let's start with something kind of shitty because we just made a joke about coronavirus. GameStop is being shitty again. They are not taking any of the precautions that obviously the World Health Organization, the CDC in America, and even national sanctions pretty much, or not national, city-wide policies and demands that pretty much all essential, because how it is in coronavirus, I'm not going to go to a deep explanation, but we're at a point where pretty much the only businesses that are public open as in you can walk into it and do your business is some restaurants at their discretion, aka Subway, and other fast food places, grocery stores, and pharmacies and hospitals. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is kind of closing. GameStop decides to say, fuck that, we're staying open. Animal Crossing and Doom Eternals this week. Fuck you guys.
We're also going to release Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing on different days now.
Yup. And they're also...
Oh,
Yeah. That's for one. For two, they're just basically blatantly putting their employees and customers at risk at this point. And you guys want to know the actual headline justification for this? GameStop, excuse me as I cough, it's kind of ironic. GameStop considers itself essential retail.
oof,
That's a quote.
oof.
It's
that's big.
essential.
Now. Is that the Reginator's influence already, or is that just the original owner just dropping that?
Well, Ridley's not the owner, to be fair. So he's not the one who said it.
But
But
Reggie's got to get in and clean it up.
GameStop, we can stay open during lockdowns because we're essential retail. Like our
Yes,
family does.
we're completely essential. You can eat our video games to keep yourself alive. You can drink from our store. You can do all these things. That's why GameStop needs to stay open.
Dude, here's another quote.
Delicious
Due to the
Doom
products
Eternal.
carried- delicious dog meat, I mean Animal Crossing. Due to the products that we carry that enable and enhance our customers' experience in working from home, we believe GameStop is classified as essential retail and therefore is able to remain open. during
We're a
this-
gaming store. Therefore, we're essential.
People have to play their video games when they're at home.
Just make sure you don't touch that Nintendo Switch area. We hear they have a bad aftertaste.
God damn it, shut
It's
up!
like coronavirus.
Oh my
No, it would
god.
taste worse.
Well, I mean, we all know GameStop might be onto something. They are building a task force to deal with coronavirus after all.
Right, they are.
I mean, they really know what they're doing, guys. God.
Your aroma smells like a corona, so now we're gonna put you in a coma.
No, I want the task force to come up with an answer and report it to the world, and it's task force from GameStop decides that the vaccine to coronavirus is just put a lime in it.
Beautiful.
No, the real vaccine is buy from GameStop.
Play more video games. That'll heal it in a couple weeks if
Stay
you're
at
still
home.
alive.
You're still alive.
That's the point. Buy games, stay.
Can we move on for the sake of my sanity?
Well, I think to stop joking, just some of the quotes kind of suck. Like, I get why I'm at risk, and I get why I still have a job, because it's like, we're essential. Like, I get it. We are actually essential retail at a grocery store. But these GameStop employees, after dealing with... And this is not the first shitty thing GameStop has done all year to their employees, don't mind you. There's story after story about how they're being mistreated. And it's kind of a case of, like... One GameStop employee says, I've been here for a decade, and even he says, this is the one thing they've done that's indefensible. And it's just saying a lot. So it's like, if GameStop, even though they hired Reggie, if they're still open by the end of the year, I'll be surprised, because they're just, every time they're swinging the bat, they keep getting 3 foul balls in 1. So it's like, when are they going to strike out? I don't know, but they're on the brink.
Yeah, and not to mention, with everyone sheltering at home, who's going to go to these stores? Who in the right mind?
Who's going to go to a GameStop over going to a grocery store to get essentials like milk, water, and food?
Yeah, and plus you can buy a lot of your games at home. It's like, you don't have to go out.
Download.
Yeah.
If one part of the gaming industry is going to flourish, it's digital downloading.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
This is going to be a death knell at GameStop. This
is going to be a death knell at GameStop, and it's going to be a very major hit to physical releases. Because like Will shared earlier, we're going to get into the Final Fantasy VII demo way, way later. But just to branch out a little bit, one of the small announcements today was that, or was it today or the other day? It might have been the other day, where Final Fantasy VII is still going to go through ahead with its release date, but they're already saying that not everyone's going to be promised their physical copy, essentially. They're basically saying if you're not getting it digital, you're not guaranteed to get the game on its release date.
Oh, yeah.
Because of all of this crisis and because of how everything is going down.
So, Yoel's being a prophet. I mean, this is the slow apocalypse of physical gaming.
Well,
right, Yoel?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think Yule would have anticipated something like this. It's more like this virus is affecting the world in so many ways that even gaming is everything's sort of getting... A lot of things that society's been leaning towards is getting kind of kicked into the full direction. And it's like, this is going to be a big, major blow. Excuse me, this year, even more so than we thought, is going to be a major blow to physical video game media. Almost irreparable damage in a way. Because after these April releases, and after Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, which already have finished and have their, manufactured copies before this stuff even started happening... Well, before the manufacturing stuff started closing down mass scale, yeah, this is going to be a major blow. And I think with how long this stuff goes on past April, it's going to be a bigger and bigger hit to that industry.
And we'll see how the gaming companies react. What shift in their strategies are they going to do? How are they going to appeal to recoup, potential lost funds, or are they going to flourish?
Right.
There's going to be changes made.
And I even doubt. sorry to cut you off. I even doubt that our store is going to even stock that many new games because we're too busy getting essential retail. So, yeah.
Yes, it's very essential retail, like video games.
Yeah. So I doubt we're going to stock that many games because it's like people are not going to be focusing on that stuff anyway. They'll just download it. Excuse me. Well, I don't know. It's going to be weird because I am getting a lot more video game sales than I normally do on a regular basis. Because I think a lot of people are also getting kind of aware of the whatchamacallit, the quarantining stuff.
Yeah, they're realizing they need to stay home.
Yeah, so some people are being smart, especially gamers, and they're like, now's the time to get my games that I really want to play.
We were prepared for this. See that world? We were ready, and you weren't. You're there pouting. At home with your
Gamers
families.
rise up.
Exactly. This is our time, boys. We're going to rise up. We're going to show the world how it takes to have fun in the middle of a crisis.
I want to jump off a cliff. Anyway.
What?
This got dark
say those things.
quickly.
Just the fucking fact that this is the perfect time to gamers rise up makes me cry inside.
PC gaming is better.
No, it's not.
And of course, Yule comes in with his typical PC gaming. And he's not wrong. I mean, it's a great time for people to get their Steam libraries gotten through. Thankfully for them.
Work through that 1,000 game backlog in an hour.
Oh, God. Don't remind me. It's depressing enough as is.
I mean, if I can do a big contribute to 2,000 boxes getting taken off a truck in like an hour and a half, you're gonna get through those damn games, Zeus. Just saying.
Yeah. Come talk to me when I'm working 48, 50 hours a week, okay? Thanks. Give me
Okay.
a bye.
Hey! I'm getting 32 hours because my hours are getting cut, motherfucker. Be grateful.
That's true. I am getting up that paycheck, but that's beyond the point. Where's my time? Time is a very valuable resource, my friend. And that is something I cannot afford to lose more than I have.
True.
Where's my photos of
That is
Spider-Man?
really
I hear he's fighting the coronavirus.
I hear he is the coronavirus. We must take him out. I hate Spider-Man. Rawr.
Oh my
J. Jonah Jameson totally would call Spider-Man like the originator of coronavirus just because he fucking hates him.
Yeah, probably. Like, completely random and off topic, but yeah, he would do that.
It's very It's a very JJJ thing to do.
Right. But yep, so that's GameStop being shitty again. Good Old Games, aka GOG, is giving away 20. To go from negative on coronavirus to positive on gaming. On coronavirus, Good Old Games is giving away 27 free games to help alleviate and relax people who are quarantined and have nothing pretty much better to do with their time.
Which, funny thing is actually, speaking of quarantine, like, people have nothing better to do with their time. I've recently found an obsession with
sorry.
Marble Olympics.
Oh, I'll let you repeat that. It's now more than 50 games. It's been updated.
Oh, nice.
So
Anyway, how about that Marble Olympics?
Marble Olympics? What the fuck is that?
Marble Olympics, what a...
Oh, Marble Olympics. Was that just like you throw marbles at people's face and they try to dodge it?
There's actually a whole series of it online. I do recommend you check it out. It's completely unrelated, again. But, quarantine. Not much better to do.
Yeah. So one of the notable games is Gwent, obviously the side game from The Witcher 3, and also that goes into The Witcher 3 being 70% off on GOG. So that's another good game to play during quarantine because it's a long game and you'll get a lot for your buck, especially at that price.
Hate to be this guy weep, but what is GOG?
Good Old Games. It's a website pretty much similar to Humble Bundle, where they sell games at pretty good prices.
Oh, that's sweet of them. Good.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, and they're giving away free games for the... One of the other notable ones, which I'm a little surprised is here, but it's cool because it's a good old franchise, is Ultima 4. Which Ultima is a really good old RPG series that's in the vein of like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy.
Nice.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
another,
wow.
another cool thing about that is that it's hosted by CD Projekt Red, and they basically give you DRM free games, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's another good thing about GOG is their games are DRM free. Which is something we talked about a while ago, because I remember we had a big, decent story on GOG and like people involved with it. So yeah, good on them. Where the Water Tastes. Water Tastes Like Wine is a pretty notable indie story game from a while ago.
Man, I've been drinking... If that's how it is, then I've been drinking water wrong this entire time.
Unless your name is Jesus. All right, man.
I miss my long hair now. Thanks, Zeus.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
That is a Steam game, I think.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much most of the notable games. It's a good deal. I think it's really good of them to step up during this time. So, good on GOG. And that's pretty much... I had something pulled up. Oh, to get back to the YouTube coronavirus thing, apparently, just to clarify a little bit on that, they're not the only ones. Facebook is doing, like, they're apparently like flagging ads that are flagging coronavirus articles as ads and stuff when they're clearly not. So people are having social media is having a weird time dealing with this kind of stuff, and I don't know. It is
Gotta love that censoring. Big Brother
And
watching.
Yule was right again.
How?
Anyway, well, no, he's totally sucking his own dick at the fact that he was like, YouTube is demonetizing coronavirus. Look how cool I am.
Oh yeah. He did
Yay! You told us that we're not getting paid. That's awesome.
Wait, well, I mean, to be fair, half of the world is not getting paid, so that's not a big. It's not a big deal.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
But we still got advertisements all over the place, so someone's paying for that. Someone's footing that bill.
Yeah. So, other little news stories that we're just going to quick run through. Steam is doing 59 free demos as their Steam Game Festival. A lot of, apparently the White House praised gamers for their skill, which is funny.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird, press conference where they're like, hey, video games are cool. Play video games in the quarantine. I'm like, dope.
Okay.
After 16 years,
I'm ready to go.
Yep.
Neat.
After 16 years, the NFL is finally teaming up with 2K again to make football video games.
Finally.
So, yeah, we're gonna get our old arcadey 2K Blitz type shit back. And that's
Good.
pretty cool.
I miss those games.
I do
I
too.
really hope so.
I hope it opens the floodgates for other because I know they did NBA Jam, but it wasn't the same. And yeah,
Did you do NBA Street?
yeah, I think they did NBA Street. So maybe we
yeah,
can bring that
so-
back.
That was great. That was part of my childhood right there.
SSX is a great game. Yeah. So, honestly, I'm trying to find this one article real quick because I had it pulled up. But if I can't find it, video game. I know we don't really care about stuff like this, but the two video game Hall of Fame finalists were announced, and it's Guitar Hero and, more importantly, Smash Brothers.
The
So everyone
original?
go vote. Yeah.
Ah,
So
I agree.
everyone go vote for Smash Brothers and fuck Guitar Hero.
yeah.
I would say
Guitar
fuck
Hero.
Guitar Hero. But yeah.
Guitar Hero really is the only reason it's popular is because it had that giant add-on.
Well, yeah, it was cool, but it's it didn't sustain. If it wins over Smash Brothers, that would be a travesty because Smash Brothers created something that was sustained for over 20 years now.
Guitar Hero isn't even going
Guitar Hero didn't even last a decade as a thing, a popular thing.
Yeah, and then Smash over here with its 2.5 decades long run.
Jeez, already. I feel old.
I mean, isn't Street Fighter going on 32 years or something?
It's older
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah, well, Smash Brothers is older than some of y'all. It might be older than me. Didn't it come out in '96? Or when did Smash Brothers come out?
I think it's
98.
99.
97, 98, I think.
I'll look it up. Just give me 1 second.
It was the later half of the N64 life cycle, I think.
Right.
1999.
Yep. So, well, then it's not old. I don't know. It might be older than one of y'all. It's older than Legon.
Yeah.
9 months older
I mean,
than I am.
Yeah.
It's
That's not a
20
high
years
bar
old.
for to cross if you're comparing it to me.
It's kind of a weird bar because fuck, you don't act your age.
Yeah.
It's true. Very true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope Smash Bros gets in. I think it's one of the few franchises that objectively deserves such praise because it just I even feel this way almost about Kingdom Hearts to a degree. But obviously more about Smash Bros. Because I think the quality is just sustained for so long. Yeah, I just couldn't see Smash Bros. Not getting it, even though I fucking hate Smash players sometimes and they don't deserve anything from me. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna let Falcon here talk about a game that he was asked to review. So this is because obviously this is the Bagocast, but this is one of our official Bago segments.
Yeah.
And that Falcon's going to review a game that he had been tasked to play this week.
Immortal Realms Vampire Warriors. Shit.
Can you tell that he's looking forward to saying his thoughts?
No, I'm actually looking for my phone.
He probably put those down.
Is that the actual name of the game?
He's
What?
I think he's looking for notes. They're just on his phone.
Oh yes, it's Vampire Bloodlines. Holy shit, I'm looking for my phone.
Hey, that would sell. Don't diss that title.
Dracula just dangles the phone in front of you.
We need a video game like that. We need a video game like that. We need a video game title that now.
Yeah,
Do you remember, like, You guys remember like ridiculous subtitles, right? Like back in the day.
That's the name of the
movies and games.
podcast.
No, that's not as funny as turn your shower handle to avoid coronavirus. But yeah,
Nah, like the game to me, honestly, is like it feels like it's really targeted towards a certain demographic. It's not like it's fully accessible to like anybody. Like, I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to describe. Like, good things about the game are like the tutorial is very detailed, explaining like what you're supposed to be doing in that game. It's a real time strategy game where you're taking over other territories, defeating armies, and it's turn based. You're using your game's cards that you get from conquering towns, and occasionally over the course of a few turns, that they'll change different effects. Like you'll get more currency or XP from fights, for instance. The game itself, every single action, be it moving to a tile or conquering a city, takes up one of your action points. I'm sorry. Fucking
dude, it's not that big of a deal. Just explain the game.
I know. The game itself, every time you go into battle, it has its own loadings. It loads it up, and the in-battle segments play a lot like Fire Emblem, where you move all your units, and they all attack different spots. It plays like that, but it's not all units in the same turn. It does some of your units, then the enemy units, and it just keeps going in a pattern. I am using my wire right now.
So it's like Langreiser?
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
You ever game called Armello? That's kind of what it's reminding me of a little bit.
The overworld segments, like with the way you're conquering other territories, it reminds me of the RPG mode in Soul Calibur 3, Chronicles of the Sword. Because like I'm playing through the overworld segments, and it feels familiar to that, but the combat sections feel a lot different, obviously, because this isn't a fighting game.
Obviously.
Yeah. A little tidbit I have, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that I have the oldest model for the Xbox One, is load times are really, really long. Like loading into a battle sequence, I'm sitting there almost a minute and a half just to load in.
Oh my god, a minute?
Oh dear.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that I have the oldest Xbox One model, but I'm not.
But even then, that's no excuse, man. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure that even the oldest computers can run a battle between two different armies. Like, how detailed are these battles to begin with? Like,
it's not like you're having like full on cinematics every single time, like say Fire Emblem Fates or the Langreiser games. You're not having full on cinematics. You're just moving tiles and attacking. It's just...
And the game takes a while to load that?
Yes. I'm assuming it's because each general that you control up to like 4 or 5 of them, and they have the respective army. I think it's because they're loading in the configurations for the general and the army that they're controlling. I'm not certain myself.
That sounds to me like poor optimization, because I don't think it should take that long to load a game like that.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, but I don't design games, I guess. I don't know, like how rendering works or anything of that degree.
Mhm.
Like the game itself, like to me, it feels like it has interesting concepts, but like the fact that like it feels like everything is like running slow, and I'm not certain if that's because of my Xbox, but everything feels like it's very slow and tedious process, and it's in loading screens with no sound, loading screens with no sound on them, turns taking a really long time more often than not, and the fact that it really does sound like nothing's going on more often than not. It to me, it feels like it's kind of hard not to it's kind of hard to keep yourself from diverting your attention and staying on that game. It's kind of hard to.
Is the premise at least interesting, or
Uh, like I honestly don't find it all that interesting.
Mhm.
Like for what it does, I will say like if people do like turn-based strategy games with like bonus effects and all that stuff, then I think it's a good game for them. But like to people who want to approach those games, like I personally can't recommend it.
what is the story about? Like,
It's basically between vampires and other mythical creatures trying to take over the world of the humans and kill everything, including the other factions. And yes, there's three campaigns, one for each, for some reason.
Alien Emble 3 spaceships. Yeah.
Oh god. There was an Alien vs Predator game on PS2 that like had each of the three campaigns. I forgot what it was called. Was it like Extinction or some shit?
Oof. Anyway, continue.
Nah, but like
I'm getting StarCraft 2 vibes right now. Like, how many factions are there?
there's three of them that the player can't control.
My God, I can't. Like.
It is
This is
AVP
just-
Extinction. It is
this is
AVP
just-
Extinction. That's what I'm thinking.
This is just This is just sounding like StarCraft all over again. This is Terran, Zerg, and Protoss, except replaced with vampires and whatever the other two factions are.
I assume like you have to clear the campaign for the vampires, or at least get to a certain point to unlock the other two factions. But I don't know, as I only cleared the first act of the vampire campain,
And you pretty much pieced out.
not because like I didn't, not because I want. I mean, I did want to, but it's like it's just hard to maintain interest with it if you're not like hardcore into that type of shit. Which
I mean, the loading times are already disturbing enough because transitioning from one battle screen to the other and it taking a long time to load. That is already a huge yikes for me because it can easily turn my attention away. There's a point where
half those loading screens. I'm reading like Punisher comics or some shit.
Yeah, like I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Like.
But I will give it a little bit of a benefit of the doubt because I know it's a game preview. Like maybe it's not. Maybe I wasn't given like
Beta.
the finished build. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, yeah, it's still a beta, so that developers can look at this and check any improvements.
yeah, I hear that. But
I mean,
yeah, like
I mean, I believe that the premise can be interesting. Sorry about that. I believe that the premise can be interesting because, like you said, it's basically monsters trying to destroy the humans. I can work with that. Okay, I can see why that premise will be interesting in and of itself. But it becomes a really hard sell if you don't give me any standout characters, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why you pretty much have a hard time recalling the story overall because the characters and that's fantastic, and the story itself doesn't pay off.
yeah,
Yeah, I had the feeling that was the case, but because
it really was.
Yeah, I had the feeling that was the case from the way you were talking about it, and I mean, yeah. What's up?
No, it's just I really don't know what else to say about it other than like it's not for everybody because it really isn't for everybody.
It's a shame because those kinds of games can work, and it's a matter of making a very
It's like
engaging
the
RPG
internet.
to begin with.
I hear that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go because I'm pretty sure
So
he's
you got
gonna have
any
to do stuff.
you got any comments over there?
Not really, to be honest.
Hmm. All right, I'll be seeing you guys. Thanks for having me on board.
Thanks for coming.
No problem.
All right. After that review, given to us by Falcon. Falcon had to step away. We thank him for joining us. We're going to finish up with these next two topics, which probably aren't going to take too long, but we'll just cover the basics. Sony did the PS5 reveal event, and I'm pretty damn sure they still didn't show us what it looks like.
Nope. They only spent a long time talking about the goddamn specs, which
Oh my god, how many times are they going to talk about these PlayStation 5 specs?
yeah, they kept on ragging about the SSD yet again.
Again.
But can you blame them? Look at what the Xbox Brick has done, and look at all of the backlash that has done.
You mean the XPCX?
The Xbox X. The Xbox X.
Fun of the Xbox, but at least okay, I'm yawning because I'm tired. Okay. Fuck, that's a bad example. It's like how I'm trying to defend the Xbox Series X and I'm yawning as I'm defending it.
You mean the Xbox PCX?
Yeah, the Xbox PC Tower X. We all make fun.
But is that alarming, though? I mean,
The World Trade Center Xbox.
Okay,
Guys,
can I get my point out?
okay.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even get to speak, and y'all are already trying to fucking jump over me. Like, fuck.
Go ahead.
Fuck. No, I just. Well, my only point was that I was defending it because I don't know. I thought it was cool that they showed it off early and that they had the guts to show off what it looks like and that they're going forward with it. Last December. So I think the fact that Sony's waiting so long is like a little weird to me because it's like I care about these specs, but I can't put these hardware specs to a item yet. I can't visualize it in my head.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You can
You wanna
only
know the last
say
con-
so much before you have to see something.
Right. Just like, I hate to bring up this console again, but this is bringing a lot of vibes of the Wii U. Remember that whole reveal progression? All
Yeah.
focused on the gamepad. No one knew what it looked like.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say the PS5 is going to suffer in that regard, especially after what they did announce at this event, which was a very important thing. But it's almost like because we also want to know what the controller is going to look like, if it's going to be different than the DualShock 4, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot riding on some of these other things that they could show off. And to be fair, I guess the Xbox didn't show off their Series X controller yet, so we don't know. I'm sure it's a safe assumption it's going to be similar anyway. But I don't know. I think these specs are all going to be good, but there's nothing to put behind this hardware, and it's weird considering this was. I mean, let's be real. This was supposed to release this year.
You think it's not gonna release this year?
Well, I think the coronavirus. Maybe it's a topic for another day, but the coronavirus is definitely going to push back development of these. Maybe not even full on development, but it's definitely going to push back, manufacturing, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm
go
sorry.
No,
Every industry is definitely going to be affected.
Yeah.
So whatever plan, this is what I was saying earlier in the podcast. It will be a very interesting next couple of months how all gaming companies are going to react. What will be their sales push? What will be their focus? What will be their message to everyone that follows the industry closely?
I mean, you want an early sign of what's going to happen. This just happened a few minutes ago. GDC is still going forward. Following the postponement of this week's Game Developers Conference 2020 due to concerns surrounding the COVID-19 virus, the event organizers Informa Tech has officially announced the replacement event, GDC Summer 2020, which will run from August 4th to 6th at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. So what seems to be that's going to happen is that we are going to get the events aren't going to die. They're just going to be delayed. That's the impression I've been getting. And that if the coronavirus really passes by, as many people are estimating, I believe that the release date will not be pushed back for the PS5.
Hmm.
It's a belief. It's just an estimation.
I can't discredit that, but I don't know. The more this grows, the more unlikely it seems anything is going to be normal for at least 6 months, dude. That's just what I've been keep hearing about everything about this virus.
Yeah, again,
But,
it's an estimate. It's an estimate. Not saying that this is going to actually happen, guys.
I don't know. This is a rabbit hole that I kind of want to avoid because it's very too raw.
Broad.
Yeah, a little very raw. So it's like, let's kind of veer away from that dark hole and kind of get back to the PlayStation 5. We can kind of inject a little more positivity by saying it's pretty much officially confirmed. It's the main rumor detail that we've heard since inception is confirmed. It's going to be backwards compatible all the way back to the PlayStation 1.
Not only that, but one of the more interesting specs is going to be the SSD itself, because you can replace it with whatever SSD you have, as long as it is an M2 SSD, which is a big deal because the Xbox Series X, you have to purchase their proprietary SSD to expand your memory. In the case of the PlayStation 5, you can buy whatever SSD from any manufacturer that you want, and it will be compatible with the PlayStation 5. That is insane, because that is insane, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, because the fact is, and I keep saying this, consoles keep getting closer and closer towards PC gaming, and the fact that they're going to go for a more upgradable approach rather than having to buy a single system every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that effort a little bit more from Sony. I still need a lot more than that to be won over by the console, but those are some pretty good positives.
Yeah. I don't need a lot more to be won over by it, because I think it already kind of, if it's gonna integrate all of the PlayStation 4 library, then I think it kind of already knocks one console just like out of needing to be around. It's almost like how the Switch pretty much eliminated the existence of the Wii U, except for a few games, one of which is already Wonderful 101 is going to get knocked off that list. The only two games that are not going to be on that list as of right now are the Zelda HD remakes and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Those are the only big AAA titles that matter on the Wii U anymore that you need a Wii U for. And I think that the PlayStation 5 integrating every console generation into one is it's going to be weird because they're still calling it PlayStation 5 and they're not calling it like PlayStation All or PlayStation Generations or something like that.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool. I think if you have the one time to justify breaking that tradition, it would be now. Unlike Xbox, which can't keep a consistent name going. Yeah,
PlayStation Ultimate.
Yeah, I think
PlayStation Ultimate,
dude. That'd be so cool. I think Sony would have earned the right to say that, like name it that, and I don't think people should have made fun of them for it if they did. But
the Nintendo PlayStation.
Oh God, no.
Well, they're traditionalists. Anyway, yeah, I think it wins me over just on the fact that it's gonna knock an entire generation of consoles out of necessity. Not to say I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'm really thankful of the PS4 Pro I got, but it's like, I'm definitely not gonna lie that I'm eyeing the PS5. Because I think it's just the idea of being able to play all PlayStation games in one platform. Who knows how seamlessly, though, but I think we're in a better place than we were when the PS3 came out, so it's going to be more seamless. It's going to be a little better of an experience. And as Yule goes on and tries to always throw me under the bus about game preservation, and he looks like a jackass doing it, it's one of those things where, well, he doesn't look like a real jackass, but joking, like it's one of those things that I think Yule can appreciate too, where it's like, this is
I just
game
said
preservation of its planet.
appreciate it.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, sorry, just flub words on my part, but it is one of those things that I really do appreciate too, and I think it's cool that PlayStation is going to preserve its games a little better with this new generation.
Mm-hmm.
And its specs are going to be really strong, and it's because PS4, I can kind of see where people are coming from when it says it was a weaker generation compared to what it could have been, and PS5 looks like it could, really take advantage of this new 4K technology and these new TVs and this new resolution stuff that's kind of out. I sound like kind of ignorant saying it that way, but it kind of is what it is. It's like, I think they're equipped to capitalize.
I mean, if you want me to be blunt, like I am just going to say my opinion with one article headline that I had to read back in the day when the PlayStation 4 was being released, which is the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One have been outdated 2 seconds after they released.
Whoa!
That pretty much sums up the entire.
Well, if the
argument.
article is just to say that PCs have done that, then it's going to be unfair because it's like you could say that about any generation since the PS3.
I know that, but I'm not saying that to just boost the PC. I'm saying that to bolster the point about how this last generation wasn't as powerful as it should have been.
Yeah.
Like just the fact that the specs of both systems were outdated by the time of the release, that already just says, well, this generation was a little bit underpowered. So, yeah.
Yeah, with the way the things looking are now, I agree with you. I mean, this could, depending on the price point, this could definitely be a good time to purchase it earlier rather than waiting later in the life cycle, because it's not going to affect your current library of games that you have with the PS4, which is good news.
And it's gonna. I think it's because I wonder how they're gonna handle the idea of people selling a PS4 to get a PS5, because it's like
it's kind of pointless.
There's literally, there was always, and I'm not trying to hint at anything myself, by the way, I just want to clarify that, but there is, compared to, because whenever people would do that in the past, there was always the caveat of, there's launch title windows, you're selling all your stuff, you're really not gonna, you're gonna regret it for the first couple, maybe even 2 years of it, or a year and a half, and it's like, with this generation, with the PS5 at least, there is no drawback selling your PS4 for some money towards your next PS5.
Yeah, you're just paying for a bigger and better upgrade. You're going to keep your account, all the perks, just stay current.
Which is kind of, not to start to cut you off, Yule, I was just going to make a quick point. No, you go ahead, Yule, because my point is a little more, introspective on something.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but at the same time, I see that there's going to be there's not going to be that much in terms of innovation. But at the same time, I also see that the system will be basically focused on power, because that's pretty much what we're going at with this generation. Power. It's always teraflops this, teraflops that. And I find it hilarious that during the presentation, the rep was basically saying that people shouldn't be measuring whether or not a console will be successful based on teraflops and performance. And I'm like, I have the feeling that this is saying that it's not gonna be as powerful as the Xbox Series X. Sorry.
I don't know.
But it doesn't matter to me if the system is powerful or not, so long as we have the upgradable customization and a good price point. If we have a good price point and we have the open upgrade, then you know what? By all means, it can be as slowly as a fucking PS1, but if I'm allowed to customize it and make it better so that they can actually run the games that I want on the highest possible settings, I'm sold. Absolutely.
You say that, but I feel like there's going to be an eventual discussion where you're going to be like, well, just get a PC at that point. And it's like, I'm going to bring this conversation up, and you're going to deny it.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm gonna save my thoughts a little bit on that, but I don't know. I think I don't. It's also to kind of go to that PC thing a bit. I hope people aren't actually like kind of criticizing the consoles for that, because I think people also are ignoring the fact that like PC performance is based on how teraflop, all the jargon stuff. It's like PC gaming is kind of based on that too. So you can't. I think gaming is in a weird spot. Technology is in a weird spot.
Gaming technology.
Well, I think just technology in general is in this weird spot where we keep not finding innovation because we keep raising. We've back in the '90s to a certain like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, technology in general was just very like it just ramped up so exponentially. That it's you kind of see why people hold that in such a high regard. And then PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 was a little bit lesser of a jump, but still a jump. And then et cetera, et cetera. So we'll have to see if PS5 can be another jump in overall quality or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I'm curious, since you brought up price point, what would be the smart way to price this thing, in your opinion? How would you, the consumer, want this priced? What do you think is the target?
Well, that's an interesting question because it goes back to the point I brought up a minute ago. Are Sony going to price it higher because they realize that there's no drawback to selling your PS4 to get money towards your PlayStation 5?
True, but I mean...
Well, I don't know. That's a weird point to bring up because I guess I just kind of countered my own point. It's like Sony doesn't technically lose money in that situation.
Yeah, a lot of these console sales, I mean, the company does lose money per console sold. At least that's what I heard reported for some consoles. Like I know for the Xbox One, that was the case, especially since they had a really high price point. PS3 had a similar issue.
Oh yeah, no, I meant like losing money off the idea of someone selling their console towards the new console. My bad.
Right.
Interesting.
I don't know. I could easily see this being already a $500 console easily.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think
Now
that's the right price point. Not 600.
Yeah, I could see. I could see maybe 5, but then you're going to get the argument. Not necessarily even just from Yule. Like I don't think Yule would even necessarily make the argument, but you could see people arguing that it's like more than ever. Just build a PC. You can get one for $500 these days. Like, I don't know. It'd be hard to argue, but I think paying $500 for 5 generations worth of PlayStation is pretty cool, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree with that price point being a decent one.
Yeah, glad you agree. And I think that's still even less expensive than PS3 when it first launched. Like, didn't that launch at $600, something like that?
Yeah, they wanted you to pay. Basically, yeah, and the famous quote, which was what made it so ridiculous as a price point, is they said they want you to basically pay for a premium gaming experience and all that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
PS3 was the worst game console to do that, and thank God they changed their marketing, because with the problems the PC or the PS3 had with performance, especially, that would have been an obnoxious, like, could have hurt Sony really bad type of deal,
And by the way, I know what some PC elites are going to say right now, and I'm going to be told, "But you can emulate," and I will be like, "Dude, you can't emulate the PS4 or the PS5 to be on at all. You already need."
We can't emulate the PS5 because it's not out yet.
And you can't emulate the PS4 because people haven't found a reliable way to do so. The most you can do is the PS3 right now, and even then, it's not even stable. So the fact that you're changing that to the capability of playing not only PS3 games but PS4 games, that is already a huge selling point in and of itself.
Right. So,
I believe that if Sony makes a customizable PS5 that you can actually buy at a low price point, you do get your money's worth at the very least.
Right.
Because it's one thing to worry about SSDs, graphics cards, processors, stuff like that, and it's another thing entirely to just worry about an SSD. Simple as that.
Right.
Yeah, I've got no problems with that. Hopefully, we get more news on the PS5 soon. Probably around the summertime will be my next guess when we'll have news of this
But
console
yeah.
come out.
But yeah,
Yeah.
don't take this as me saying that consoles have sold me just yet. I just am saying that I'm seeing the positives on the PS5.
He's still a
That's
PC
not
master
even the
racist.
He acts like he's not, but he really does like try to judge consoles on such a high grade compared to PC because it is what it is. But I mean, it says a lot that he can acknowledge it. He can acknowledge that what the PS5 is doing to kind of sell him or try it. So we'll see. Hopefully next year we'll have it, but I don't know. We're kind of done with that because I mean,
Never Heroes 3 coming out.
when are you gonna get your own Switch again?
Later, trademark.
Oh wait, you hate the Switch. Why would you get it?
Actually, can we just say that for a little bit? Like, why?
Can we not
Like,
add
why
top-
have? Like, have you seen how the games got delayed, and we haven't heard from them like for a long time?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway,
Well, okay, no, because we've heard from No More Heroes 3 like recently.
When? I
The
think I
last-
meant-
Wait, the Game Awards trailer.
Yeah, but that was Game Awards, dude. It's been a long time.
Wow, 3
Even
months.
longer for Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition, which
That's more. Well, that was E3. Okay, you'll stop.
you're killing your own points here.
Yeah,
We don't have to do anything.
yeah.
It's almost been a year, though.
You'll stop talking.
Congratulations, you're gonna make yourself feel old.
Stop talking.
Okay.
Okay,
Anyway,
let's get to
so we
the
can
final
wrap
point.
this up instead of wasting time.
Yeah, let's get
Uh,
to the final point.
Yeah, let's just get to the Final Fantasy VII remake demo and some of our. We're not probably gonna talk a lot about it, obviously, but
I have not played it, so I cannot give that many thoughts, but the only thing that I'm extremely glad about is that Jesse is voiced by the same person who voices Futaba.
I don't have the PS4, so that means I cannot even make an opinion on it. So, Sus, wait, this is all yours.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Zeus even played it. Am I the only one who
I
played
played
it? Okay, good.
3 times, and then
Oh,
Three times?
3 times now. Yeah, I sped run it. I think I beat it in like 35 minutes or so. But anyway,
speed run, 35 minutes. What?
RPGs in a nutshell for you.
I was blown away. I didn't. I actually played the remake before I dived into the original game. So going back and forth between it, I can definitely see why people were hyped for this game being remade. It still looks good even back then, even with its weird blocky textures. Like you can just tell the art design and the setting and the music just sets this tone very, very nicely. This futuristic fantasy feel, and we got that in the HD remake, and I just love it. The cinematography, the music, the way people enter scene. As I already mentioned, the game does a really good job keeping you involved since it seamlessly transitions between cutscene and actual gameplay.
Yeah, get ready. Yeah, I hope that you're ready for the second part of the game where the game sucks ass.
Don't ruin it for me, Yule.
Okay, yeah, and to be fair, I didn't like
PC
fucking
master
shit on-
racist.
Let me enjoy this raw experience of FF7. I'm only gone to the part where I'm about to storm HQ, so we'll see.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's not gonna be a good game or that just because it's.
I also don't even think like Midgard is the best part of the game, but go on.
But yeah, the common consensus I hear from Final Fantasy fans, especially from the Cydia discords, is that the Midgard section is the only good section, and after that, the game kind of falls flat on its face and dies.
That's fucking hyperbolic, and we. All right, never mind. I don't care.
So
It's a cardiac arrest.
Here's
So
a reminder to
overall-
not listen to the person who hasn't played the game, coming from the person who hasn't played the game.
boom.
Okay, can we stop and actually finish the goddamn podcast? Like, holy shit!
I just want to comment a couple more things on the presentation.
Not
though,
you,
because-
Zeus. I'm getting mad at them.
Oh,
Fuck.
ouch. But yeah, the presentation, the character designs look pretty sweet. Just Barrett, man. Barrett looks like he's just straight from a
Barrett looks
90s
great.
action flick. Yeah, like I love his sunglasses. I love his tone of voice. The dialogue was mostly the same with a little added flair in it.
Blondie.
Oh, and before I go into my thing, isn't it cute that Barrett's the one that sings the da 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 da?
Yeah,
Cute.
and I'm instantly reminded of Pronto whenever he does. It's like, oh no,
Yeah, one of the few good things I can agree that they added from 15 into this. To be honest,
yeah, and that was a cool little touch. Even those side characters that you don't really get to connect with much in the game because I know what happens to them. They get a lot of good detail, voice, care, personality.
Oh yeah,
and I think the dubbing's pretty well.
Would you say that Jessie is one of those characters? Because I did bring her up earlier.
stop,
Oh my gosh.
stop.
It's a yes or no question.
Well, no.
I enjoyed the performance. Okay, it wasn't cringy.
Well, it's yes or
made
no.
sense.
Your point is that it's Futaba. Okay, stop with the cut.
That's why I like
trying
it.
to wrap this up.
Oh my. but getting to the combat, I think an action RPG does make sense. There's elements of the original game in there, like the ATB system in the original Final Fantasy VII, which is kind of action RPG-ish, even though it's primarily turn-based. I like how they incorporated that with you can only burn items or do special moves after some amount of time has passed. But you can still dodge around, parry, and still wail away and get some good combos in. It's easy to transition between characters. They have the pros and weaknesses. The game just feels really, really smooth. The only janky part about the whole experience is just the camera. I think it's a little too close to the action. It needs to be a little bit farther away, but other than that, I had a blast playing a demo. I've gotten better each time I play the demo. And I'm really excited to see how they handle other events. And I'm getting a bigger appreciation of it now because I am going through the original game. I'm getting to know the characters more, the world that I'm about to embark on. And this is the beginning. I already spoiled myself. There is an overworld to the game. I'm not sure how big this overworld is, but I think it's like this to and beyond. But I'm pretty excited to find out more and see how the remake. I don't even know if it's going to get that far, but we'll see how the remake handles everything.
I don't know. Honestly, to branch off your point, I wonder if Midgar is going to be more of an open world like feeling.
It's pretty linear in the original game.
Well, exactly. The point is, there's barely any side quests in most of FF7 because it is such a linear experience. So I'm very fascinated with a lot of things about this remake because I agree with you. I think, for one, I hate to say this, Zeus, but even just playing this demo, dude, FF15 doesn't exist to me anymore.
Oof.
And it's like...
that much better.
Well, it's more that they took the problems with 15 and just gave me what I wanted in the 7. It doesn't have to be 7 remake. If this was Final Fantasy 16, I think this would feel like a better experience than FF15's combat does. You know,
it would be much better. It would be much better if we didn't have any characters saying that that this game reminds me of fucking King's Knight of all fucking games.
What? Okay.
Yeah, you know, King's Knight. Like, Prompto often said that this game reminded him of King's Knight.
Anyway.
You know, that terrible NES game?
Oh, so like Prompto being annoying. Anyway.
Yeah.
Agreed. Anyway, yeah, I just think that the combat is so... It took me a second because I kept messing up the lock-on feature, and I felt like the camera was really poorly done, and it was starting to hamper my experience until my second playthrough when I finally kind of understood the lock-on feature, and it made the camera better, and it just felt like a better action experience. I think this game is going to be interesting. Just to get in the combat just a little bit, my opinions. I love Kingdom Hearts to death, and I'm not going to let that bias influence me, but I think it feeling more like a Kingdom Hearts game very much benefits the remake over the 15 style of what they tried to kind of go for with that very half in, half out mentality. This is a better blend of the action is still combo based, and you're not doing dedicated combos like even it's basically Kingdom Hearts combat, and they add the old school turn based stuff in with the slowdown mechanics when you open a menu.
What?
Fucking god, dude! I'm about like 5 seconds from ending this shit because it's getting annoying.
You probably should before Yule interjects again.
Yeah.
I just made a reference to the Kid video where Kingdom Hearts is outside the window saying he did his best for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Anyway.
So with the Kingdom Hearts comparison, is there an ATB system in that game? Because I never really played.
No,
No.
there's no ATB in Kingdom Hearts.
So you just fight and you cast spells and
Yeah, well, they take well, there's one thing that's straight up ripped out of Kingdom Hearts that wasn't even in 15. There's a shortcut menu. The shortcut menu from Kingdom Hearts is in this game.
Oh, you mean hold L1 and press something?
Yeah,
to attack?
yeah, and it makes the flow of combat feel so good because it still has the same applications, but if you really do need to slow down, take a minute, and stop getting hammered by the enemy, you can still do that with the X button. So I would almost argue that if I get to play this enough and see how it branches out and see what they do with a lot of the stuff, I could see this being a better combat system than Kingdom Hearts. And I'm a hardcore Kingdom Hearts fan, over Final Fantasy even. And I can see this being a better fleshed out combat system. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Fleshed out combat system. And yeah, I'm very excited to see where it goes because I think story and setting are going to be fascinating. Midgar is such a one-dimensional part. See, that's why I disagree with those people, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I think Midgar is such a unfleshed out part of FF7 that I think the remake is going to do so much justice to it because Zeus alluded to it, and I'll just add a little bit to it. Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse are going to need to be matter. You're going to need to connect to these characters more because
spoilers.
Well, no, it's not even spoilers. That's not my point. My point is that they're going to get a full game dedicated to them. If this is just Midgar, Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are going to be a part of the entire game.
Yeah, until that moment.
Until
and it's such a glorious moment.
Well, until you leave Midgar, it is what it is. No spoilers, but yeah, you're gonna have to connect these characters. How is this new character going to integrate into all this? But what I can say from the demo, which by the way, we need to acknowledge how big this game could be because the demo is literally just Sector 1, or Mako Reactor 1.
Mhm.
Holy crap! That is a big part of the opening. But that's the whole demo. So it's like, how big is this game going to be? I'm interested to see come April 10th.
I'm going to say this from from the cutscenes I've seen on the demo because that saying that doesn't get spoiled to me, it's like a lie. But
Well,
anyways,
this is like a 20-year-old game anyway, so saying spoilers is kind of redundant.
yeah, I know, but yeah, from the cutscenes I've seen from the demo, I've seen that Cloud and Barrett have a lot more interactions with Jesse and Wedge, which actually makes me wonder it made me wonder if this was going to be Square Enix's attempt at trying to make the two characters have more synergy and chemistry, because that means that they will have a much more center focus than they had in the original game.
Which is, they're going to have to, because like I said, they're going to be in the whole game. If we're right, it's just Midgar and there's nothing else, they're going to be in the whole game.
Yeah.
So they have to flesh this stuff out.
Yeah, and so far, I definitely like the interactions they have, especially with how Cloud, he tries to be this cool dude and cold and stuff like that. And Barrett and Cloud constantly grill each other. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be very excited for that because, there was hints of the little bits because Cloud kind of shit on Barrett, but it kind of goes away after a certain point. I think there's going to be a lot more, fuck you, buddy type shit going on with Barrett and Cloud.
Basically a relationship.
Well, yeah.
Did they
That's
swear in the
interesting.
demo, by the way? I feel like they did at a couple points.
They did.
What?
They swore to... I think they even said the
Yeah,
F
they did.
word at one point.
They did swear, yeah.
I just hope there's a toggle so that you can have censor bleeps.
Dude, that would make it so entertaining.
It would be.
Also, because why not? Barrett
Yeah.
fucking bleeps his language in the first game anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why
Awesome.
not?
Yeah, so I think that'd be cute. Couple other points to go on a little bit. One, I think it's fascinating that they already kind of hint at Jesse's feelings for Cloud in the demo, in the first area of the game. because I'd say well, it was kind of a nothing. It was just made for one moment in the original FF7. I wonder if they actually flesh it out even more and try to do something with it in the remake, because it's like you're gonna get. I'd say go for it, because you're gonna get her for a whole game. There's a better chance of you doing that and having it be an even more emotional moment when he has to say goodbye to his friends in FF7, because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make it an interesting moment. So, and other points is like, trying to word my points together. Yeah, I just think the fact that they try to make Cloud super cool, because they do, because even the director kind of hasn't shied away from the fact that they don't hate Advent children, and they do try to inject a little bit of that Cloud into this Cloud. But then there's moments where he's like he basically asks Cloud what his number is or whatever, and Cloud says, 1, first class. Oh, no. He says, you must be 20-something, right? And Cloud says, no, first class. I don't think soldier goes up to the 20s. And he says, no, you dumbass, your age. Oh.
Right.
That means you're 1 year old. Oh, and it's like, I think that they need to keep that tone of Cloud where he's super cool and edgy, kind of, not cool and edgy, but he's like very distant, and people think he can be kind of cool. But he's also a fucking dork who thinks he's 1 year old.
Exactly.
A little bit
Like,
antisocial.
There was another clip where
really.
there was another also moment that was a highlight to me. There was another moment that was a highlight to me where Jessie sees Cloud like she like they're about to leave the
is it when he jumps off the pipes?
Yeah, when he jumps off the pipes, Jessie immediately remarks that
that was cool.
That was cool, right? And Cloud just lets off this little giggle like, yeah.
First class, soldier first class.
That made me happy about Cloud.
It's gonna make me laugh, but I'm gonna call bullshit when Cloud falls into the slums, because what the fuck, dude? He just jumped off a bunch of pipes.
Yeah, but like I said, that was actually really heartwarming. I like to see that a Cloud that wasn't a complete freaking emo. Like they tried.
That scene actually does make me wonder how they're gonna handle Cloud falling into the slums, though, because what the fuck? He actually just jumped off pipes and shit.
Yeah, he did in the game. And it happened really quickly.
Yeah, and he jumps up to enemies in this demo when you're fighting like airborne enemies other than the sentry turrets that are basically tutorials on playing as Barret. You can jump up to enemies in the air and like do combos on them. So how the fuck they gonna justify Cloud just like slipping into the slums by letting go of a pipe?
I don't know. They'll figure out a way. There's already a couple differences between the bombing missions a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all more fleshed out. There's dramatic tension that wasn't there.
Yeah.
There's additional dramatic tension, especially during the escape sequence.
Well, there is, and then they also, because like saving Jessie in FF7 was a prompt you had to do. In this game, it's just like they're not bullshitting. They know you have to do it. Because you have to do it in the original too, but you had to actually prompt and do it on the prompt. So I wonder how they're going to handle certain things like, because it's not a spoiler. Well, it's not too much of a spoiler, but like even the first section after Reactor 1, where you're on the train and you get fucking robbed by a guy. I wonder how they're going to... Because FF7, to its credit, has a lot of these nice little interactions that a lot of games don't have. And even just original FF7. How do they flesh some of these out? And do they add more, et cetera, et cetera? Do they even add more parts of this game that weren't in the original, Mm-hmm. So I'm fascinated to see.
Yeah, me too. Seeing the slums and seeing the transitions, how seamless is everything going to be? Because once you go from once you go from the second Mako reactor, you meet Aerith in the church. So it's like, okay, and there's a big scene that happens in that church, and a nice escape sequence. So it's like there's a lot they're going to have to cover.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot they're going to have to cover, but there's also the idea of there's a lot that didn't get fleshed out that could use the remake treatment.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm not as a Final Fantasy hater. I'm not even going to fucking discuss that. But I have been intrigued by the cutscenes, the battle system. I have been watching this game pretty closely ever since it's been teased back then. Honestly, I am hoping for the best for this game because I really want this game to be the game that turns me over. That turns me into a massive Final Fantasy fan and stuff like that.
I don't think you should go into it with that expectation, but I'm gonna delve into my last point based off that opinion.
Yeah, because I felt like the original Final Fantasy VII, while it was solid, it didn't really stick to me as much as Final Fantasy VI did. And that's because like we said, there were some segments that were massively underdeveloped and there was also
yeah, exactly.
yeah, there was a lot of aspects that could have been fleshed out, some other aspects that should have been a little bit less on your face. The battle system got kind of old for me because especially because it went back to the turn-based aspect. There are
Well,
a
it
lot
never
of things
went back to it. More like that's a weird comment. You're wrong about that. It is okay. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be quick about it.
Back to the turn-based segment. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to be quick about it. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, I believe that if Final Fantasy VII touches on these aspects and keeps on this gameplay mechanic that is actually looking like it's really amazing and they learn from the mistakes from Final Fantasy 15, then you know what? I'm going to say it's a good Final Fantasy game, and I'm going to say that I love that game. I only need the fleshing out. I only need the good characterization, which they have been doing. Like I said, I just need Square to keep on that streak. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not opposed to the idea of Final Fantasy VII not being good. I just want it to be good. Simple as that.
I'm sure they'll deliver.
I'm sure they will too. I think a couple points then. One, just the lighthearted one. It's really cute that there was a grammar mistake in the original game, and it says about the Scorpion Guard's tail. And in this remake, Cloud is fucking hammering it into Barrett that this tail is a problem. He's fucking laying into him about, no, motherfucker, get behind the barrier. Avoid that motherfucking tail, you stupid motherfucker. Do it. That's a cute little nod to the fact that they fucked up in the original dub of the game. That was cute. And it's interactions like that make me really excited for it, because I just love the dynamic. And I'm fascinated to see where they go with it. But, other points are, I think I was talking to a girl that I work with, and she's nice and all that stuff, yada yada. I'm not gonna get into that, but she was buying a Switch today with her bonus that we all got, or they got. I don't know if I got it yet, but she was getting a Switch with her bonus, and she got Final Fantasy 12, and I was like, oh, you're a Final Fantasy fan, cool. So I was like, I'm really excited for the 7 remake, and she kind of feels like the original was an overrated game, and I get, I'm not gonna agree, but I get it. Like, I get where people are coming from. But I also kind of said, and I kind of thought about it, and I felt it, where it's like, this is the remake in history, video game history, that matters more than any other remake. I'm sorry, Resident Evil 2, 3, 1, whatever, any of the great remakes in history, this is the one. This is the one that matters the most. They cannot fuck this up, because the original FF7 was such a landmark game in that so many kids back in the day recommended it to anyone and could get away with it, and it transmissioned through the world so rapidly because of that opinion, that you can recommend it to anyone and everyone's going to get into it because it's so groundbreaking. I think FF7 Remake, I don't know if it's going to be the same level of groundbreaking, don't get me wrong. I don't think any game really can. Many games cannot. But if it can recapture that, I can recommend this to any of my friends who are gamers and they'll like it, or at least get some enjoyment out of it. I think that is a successful remake because it captures that original intent of 7. That it's accessible to anyone.
Yeah, I am hoping for the best for Final Fantasy VII because again, I do not want to. I hate Final Fantasy, but again, I just wish that it could have done more, a little bit more. And again, I am looking forward to this remake as much as everybody else because it has its obvious signals that it's going to be. So
yeah. And on a joke of fuck Alex, She said, "I think 8's better than 7," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh boy. There's a whole can of worms we could delve
You're lucky
into on the
you're
next
cute, 'cause
podcast
you
about that.
just- yeah, I was like, "You're lucky you're cute." In my head, I was like, "You're lucky you're cute," because holy fuck, what a bad take. But anyway,
with that said, let's just end this.
let's end it with Final Fantasy VIII music, because fuck it. Whatever. Good night, guys.
8 has good
Eyes on
music
me.
though.
Right?
Eyes on me. Let's go.
No.
No.
Yeah, no, good night.